Okay, this one's been due for some time now. Way back during my first year of Countdown making, I did a list about BlazBlue's super flashy Astral Heat finishers, and later took it down from a third-party content claim. Looking back, it really wasn't that good anyway. Besides, several more Astrals made their debut in Chronophantasma, my opinions have shifted a bit on the old ones, and Central Fiction's already out in Japan with the announcement of a Western release coming any time now. Any time now. So, long story short, it's time I remade this list. These are my top 10 Astral Heats Extend. The only criteria I'm taking into account this time is how much I enjoy how the move looks. I'm not taking practicality into account at all since, let's face it, Astral Heats aren't exactly the most practical moves anyway. You want competitive moves? Stick with distortions and overdrives. You want eye candy? It's game time! Kagura was one of my favorite of the new characters in Chronophantasma. Yeah, he was a bit of a womanizer. Okay, a lot of a womanizer. But it was never in a way that was annoying. And let's face it, when shit got real, he got shit done. And when he wants to put an exclamation point on his opponent, he does it with style with his Astral Finish, Black Dragon's Sky-Rending Blade. After making Black Lightning strike with his paddle-like sword, he gathers dark energy into a giant blade, which he introduces to his opponent's cranium. Yeah, it's a cliche we've seen before, but that doesn't mean it's not cool. And the reason it works is because the mass of the energy used to make the large part of the Dark Sword is negligible. Therefore, swinging it is as easy as swinging Kagura's regular sword. And that's your physics lesson for the day. And let's not forget that even after that, he still manages some badass pose. Man, this dude's got swag. And yeah, I can say that word unironically in this case. It's goddamn Kagura. Oh look, another fan service character in a series that already has characters like Tsubaki, Makoto, and freaking Lychee. I'll admit that Bullet's relevance in the plot felt kind of low to me, only having played vanilla Chronophantasma and not Extend, but the minute I laid eyes on her, I knew where the designers were drawing attention. Of course, if she were to catch you checking out her ass, the next thing you'd see is probably her pile bunker in your face, followed by either the pearly gates or the three heads of Cerberus. Probably the latter given the deadly sin of lust. Hard Kill Bringer looks simple, but you're not gonna make light of punches that hard. Especially since that last blow is packing enough power to leave a crater in the ground, and her opponent in smoldering ashes. Of course, I would expect no less from a character with more military know-how than Xenia, and only slightly more shame than Lady Satsuki. Don't lose your way! I'm not a fan of the Murakumo clones. They can be a pain to deal with their constant projectile spamming, and New in particular has the whole yandere thing going, which I am not a fan of. She's normally as cold as the machine she is, but the second Ragna enters sensor range, she enters complete code NMS. It's creepy. That being said, when they want to end your existence, they'll make sure you're as dead can be. I'll admit that Sword of Destruction has lost a bit of its luster since I made my original list, but you still can't deny that this finisher still has quite the impact. From the creepy chanting which starts off the move, to the size of the blade she summons, to the first-person view of your impending doom, this is an attack you won't soon forget. If you want Senpai to notice you, this is certainly one way to do it. It also works when you want to destroy anyone who comes between you and your Senpai. Destroy the world with me, Senpai! Terrami! Okay, when you strip away the facade of the smooth-talking troll that is Hazama, what is left behind is Terrami's true self. A psychotic, sadistic, murderous bastard who will curb-stomp you literally after he does it figuratively. And he's no longer hiding anything in his evil personality. Gone is any pretense of likability, and in its place is fucking this. Everything about Unholy Wrath of the Basilisk simply screams how evil Terrami is. The chains of Ouroboros binding your character, the flood of snakes tearing away at you, and holy crap, the dark Susanoo armor cutting you down with the final blow. And that glorious psychotic laughter once the dirty deed is done dirt cheap. Which is actually a fitting description since it's so easy to pull off. Yeah, I still hate the guy, but damn if he isn't good at what he does. This is finishing off your opponent with the power of evil for evil's sake. No higher purpose, no outward goal, not even the illusion of sensibility. This is simply pure, unrestrained evil. Hey, at least he got his just desserts in Chronophantasma. How the hell did he survive that? How much determination does this madman have?
In this world, it's kill or be killed.
When you look at Falcon Hein from a distance, you see the typical well-mannered and loyal butler type. And then you discover that his mistress is the vampire. And he was one of the 6 heroes. And he's a friggin' werewolf. And he can do shit like this. After flash kicking the enemy into the air, complete with dramatic slow-mo, he beasts out and leaps after the opponent, after which he channels his inner Strider and ravages the opponent from multiple directions, ending with one savage slash that turns the screen red and finishes the enemy, all silhouetted by a full moon. It is this scenery that gives this Astral its name. Blutvollmond, Blood Full Moon. Werewolves in fighting games tend to be savage. Jean Taldane, Saberwolf, but Falcon Hein takes it to ninja levels of insanity. It's flashy, it's visually appealing, and it's a fitting move for this denizen of the night. And apparently, he taught it to Greninja if his final smash is any indication. I think I'll approach this butler with civility, thank you very much. I value my internal organs more than you might think. How the hell did I ignore Hakuman on my original list? Besides the fact that his armor is tight as hell, his fighting style is fierce, his design is cool, and having left off his Astral just because it was a counter was a dumb decision on my part. Especially when it looks this awesome. Depending on what game you're playing, it can either be called Kokujin Ogi Akumetsu or Judgment of the Sword. Whatever you call it, seeing that single slash turn into more like 20 that look like ink brush strokes in a finisher that's black and white and red all over is simply a sight to behold. Yeah, the whole one slash turning into many has been more well done than a burnt steak, but damn if it isn't still cool after all this time. Granted, it can be tricky to pull off with it being a counter and all that, but if you're good at mind games and can pull it off at just the right time, oh man, is it ever satisfying. Either that or your opponent will get scared to even attack for fear of missing the timing. But then again, what else would you expect from a character with one of the most badass catchphrases in all of gaming?
I am Hakuman! The end has come!
Come on, you know you love it! Ragna the Blood Edge is my favorite character in the series, bar none, for reasons I've explained before, and, you know, I don't need to explain Ragna's badassery, I just need to show you what you came for. You know it, you love it, it's the ever-loving Black Onslaught. When you see Ragna open that blood scythe and just tear into his opponent, you realize that there's a reason he's called the Grim Reaper. You can practically see the life being drained from the enemy with every slash, culminating in a final blow that causes the enemy to disintegrate completely. What this finish lacks in flash, it more than makes up for in visual appeal and pure savagery. Ragna has some bones to pick, and with a move like this, you can see that he'll go through hell and back to pick them. No matter how much development Ragna gets, you know this fact will never change. He's just gonna keep kicking ass as long as he has breath in him. This is why pissing him off is the last thing you want to do.
There is no hell,
Makoto is the series' resident badass adorkable. She is a squirrel girl who's cute as hell and knows it, she's as hot-blooded as a shonen protagonist, she's probably seen every anime of her time, and she's one of the few people capable of counter-trolling Terrami. And if you mess with her or her friends, well, you can say bye-bye to the atmosphere. Planet Crusher is equal parts cheesy and awesome. After doing the Aura thing on her opponent, she launches one last uppercut that sends the poor sap flying so hard and so far it sends them into the moon, which leaves an imprint of a fist on it before it explodes. I don't care if you think he's bait for furry fans. She can shatter the moon! This move is so awesome and over the top that it made number 1 on my original list, and I still love it to this day. Of course, I can think of at least a few people who might not. The new characters introduced in Chronophantasma I felt were pretty mixed. I thought Amane was underutilized, Bullet was pretty fan-surfacey with only a little bit of depth, and Celica was just eh. On the other hand, I already talked about Kagura, who's pretty cool, and then there's Ezreal. You wish. There's no getting around it. This guy is a beast. A savage brute so powerful, he put a limiter on himself so that he can enjoy fighting his opponents without killing them too quickly. So it's only fair that such a brutal character has an equally brutal Astral, the terrifyingly named Patriot Apocalypse.
You're in luck, because I'm going to show you.
Astral Finish! そうか。
Did you see that? Did you see that? He just tore up a chunk of the ground with his opponent still on it, tossed it into the air, and when it came down, he punched it so hard he created a nuclear explosion. This is why he has limiters, people. He can devastate everything around him, opponents, allies, everything, with one punch.
It's time to stop!
I already made a one-punch man joke, damn it! This is a pure display of unbound power. Gun show? This is a freaking muscle missile show, and he just brought out a goddamn nuke! And remember, he was using magic as a limiter. This finisher is him at his full power, no magic or technology whatsoever. That is fucking scary. And before the Wheel of Fate takes us to number 1, here are the honorable mentions. Jin's Rengoku Hyoya for its simple effectiveness. Relius's The Puppeteer's Altar, just for being so disturbing. Bang's Shishigami-style Forbidden Technique, the ultimate bang for being so goddamn hammy. Iron Tager's King of Tager for how painful it is to the opponent. And Arakune's updated End to Infinity for being such a huge improvement over the original. When Kokonoi was first released as DLC in Chronophantasma, she was infamously overpowered. It was so bad that the community affectionately began calling her Brokenoi. True, she's been nerfed heavily since then, but she's still pretty powerful in the right hands. So I guess it's only appropriate that the character that was once the most overpowered in the entire roster also has the best Astral.
The little shut-in girl comes to play outside. Should I expect a meteor to fall?
Why did you have to jinx it, you damn rabbit?
Summoning device active. Ars Magus. Science is true power. Astral Finish.
It wasn't enough for Kokonoi to Hokuto her opponent into an electric snare, oh no. She had to call down a frickin' meteor to make sure that the poor sap was deader than dead, as well as completely devastate the entire surrounding area. And yet, she's standing triumphantly in the aftermath. Completely unharmed.
It's video games. Don't question. No, not this time. I've used that line before in regards to video game logic, but I can't just hand-wave this.
I'm sorry, but that defies any kind of logic. She was standing arms outstretched as the meteor came down with no indication of cover whatsoever. So to see her standing amidst the devastation without so much as a scratch on her, the last time I checked, this beastkin scientist wasn't capable of Pinkie Pie levels of shenanigans. I know that this is an Astral, but armament number 99, the Match Destroyer Ultimate Impact, goes beyond overkill and into the realm of outright absurdity. I think science needs to just not. But I'll be damned if it isn't awesome.
I'm the Quarter Guy, and as I eagerly await word of a Western release for Central Fiction, I still have a lot of unanswered questions. Whether or not I'll be able to make sense of a plot that's become Kingdom Hearts levels complicated, whether or not Izanami is actually the final villain, and how the new characters will stack up in terms of gameplay and how difficult they'll be to learn. But out of all of these, one still nags at me to this day. How come we never got to play as Jubei?
Yeah, QG loves Mega Man, what else is frickin' new? Well, as long as Capcom is at least pretending to show interest in reviving the series, I might as well talk about it again. Hold on, what's this now? A spin-off of a spin-off? Well, may as well bring this one out of the closet. Next time, the Q Review, Mega Man X Command Mission. It's game time! Well, here we are again. Thanks for watching this video. I hope I'll be able to look back on this one in a few years and actually be proud of it, unlike last time. As always, leave your feedback in the comments, and if you want to see more, check out the annotations. I also have my various social media accounts and the occasional live stream on Twitch. If you want to support my channel and want in on some cool perks, there's a link to my Patreon there too. This episode's shoutouts go to Maverick Hunter 075 who did the Hazama Flowey picture, and the Tree's Apprentice who did the voice. Man, I hope he gets the chance to get back in the business soon. Thanks again, and until next time, this is the Quarter Guy, signing out.